Hey and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's begin with our daily news. Campbell says Arsenal have a truly fantastic youngster in their ranks. Arsenal icon Kevin Campbell has told Highbury Squad that Fabio Vieira is a special talent. The pundit and Gunners cult hero praised the Emirates summer signing in wake of his performance against Brentford. Arsenal signed Vieira from Porto in June for a reported £30 million fee plus £4 million in potential add-ons. The Portuguese has needed a little time to get up to speed. Mikel Arteta only giving him his debut last weekend, and Vieira went on to vindicate Arteta's fate with a brilliant finish to make the scoreline 3-0 in the second half. Campbell loved what he saw from the youngster and sung his praises on Highbury Squad. I think everyone who watched that game realized this kid at 22. This kid is special, Campbell said. I'm telling you, he is special. It will take time to adapt. He looks weak at times, but his technique, his quality on the ball, his passing, he is excellent. But also, he shot from outside the box and he fooled the goalkeeper with the eyes, wiped it with his left. His song was out, and what a fantastic moment for him as well. He is a special guy. He is only going to get better as well. He is 22 years old. We have to give Arteta, Edu and Richard Garlic some credit. We have some talent. Vieira has some fire in his boots. If they let him shoot, he can put them away. Campbell isn't the only pundit to praise the Arsenal newcomer in recent days. Rio Ferdinand also spoke highly of Vieira on the latest episode of Rio Ferdinand Presents 5. Vieira's goal, wow, said the Manchester United legend. Vieira's goal was top, lovely goal. He looks a really good player, by the way, good signing. Danny Murphy thinks Mikel Arteta is finally playing Arsenal man Granit Xhaka in his best position. Danny Murphy has told TalkSPORT that Mikel Arteta is finally playing Granit Xhaka in the right position and he's now thriving. Xhaka has put in some brilliant displays for the Gunners this season and has already registered 3 assists and 1 goal. The 29-year-old has even been handed the captain's armband in Arsenal's last 2 fixtures, and Murphy thinks Xhaka's upturn in form is down to being given a role that suits him in the Gunners midfield. Speaking on TalkSPORT, Murphy said the Swiss international doesn't suit playing in a holding midfield role. Sometimes in my job, it's nice to be proven right. I said about 4 or 5 years ago when I was heavily critical of Xhaka playing in the holding role. He said, I felt for him because managers kept playing him in the wrong position. He is a creative player. He's got a great left foot. He's got a great shot. He can see a pass. He's not the most athletic and he doesn't spot danger particularly well. Why he was ever playing the holding role, I don't know. There is no surprise to me that we are seeing him in a more forward role, thriving a little bit more because there is more freedom in his play. He can make the old mistake and not worry. Credit to him. He looks a really different man in terms of his body language, his temperament. He's not moaning as much. He's not going into stupid tackles. He looks fitter and he looks like he's enjoying his football. National team manager reveals injured Arsenal man might still play for them. Martin Odegaard has been instrumental to Arsenal this season as they bid to underweight for a top 4 finish. The Norwegian only joined the club permanently last season and they have made him their captain. He is also the captain of his country's national team and has both armbands because of his fine performances for his nation and club. The midfielder has been a good addition to the Arsenal squad and his influence on their current league standings cannot be overstated. He missed their 3-0 win against Brentford at the weekend because of an injury, but he had already been named in the Norway squad for this international window. The midfielder should ideally put out of the squad, but his national team manager, Ståle Solbakken, has now delivered an update on how his international window will look. TV2 quotes him saying, "They are the ones who have had hands on him up until now and they are in dialogue," he added. "He's not doing well now. Now it's a matter of getting a final decision on whether he can be in both or one game. We'll certainly see him in Norway, either as a player or a fourth coach. It means a lot to have him." TalkSPORT pundit thinks Mikel Arteta may end up regretting handing Arsenal talent his debut. Danny Murphy has told TalkSPORT that he thinks Mikel Arteta may end up regretting handing Arsenal talent Ethan Nwaneri his debut on Sunday. Arteta's man cruised to a 3-0 win at the Community Stadium over the weekend to remain at the top of the Premier League. Arteta handed a debut to 15-year-old teenager Nwaneri, who became the youngest ever Premier League player against Brentford. The midfielder came on as a substitute aged just 15 years and 181 days old, and broke the previous record held by Liverpool midfielder Harvey Elliott. But Murphy thinks it may be looked back on as a mistake by Arteta in years to come. Speaking on TalkSPORT, Murphy feels Arteta should have refrained from putting Nwaneri in the spotlight at such an early stage of his career. "I'm not convinced it's the best move for a young player. I'm really not," he said. "I have seen superstars come on the scene at a young age and thrive and go on and carry on, but there has also been a lot who have fallen by the wayside. He is obviously a super talent. He is obviously doing well in training and impressing everybody, but they have got other 18, 19 and 20-year-olds who are probably further ahead in their development who could have gone on the bench. I think it's probably trying to keep a young superstar happy a little bit, which is what managers do, I get that, but I would be more concerned with sometimes what that can do, because you can elevate 15, 16 and 17-year-olds sometimes to a position that becomes very difficult for them to cope with mentally because they are already becoming a superstar. I can imagine his Instagram went up by about 30,000 in a day and things like this. People might laugh at this and think stop being cynical and skeptical. Very few players at 17, never mind 15, burst onto the Premier League scene and do what Rooney and Michael Owen did, very few. Murphy then went on to say that Arteta could end up regretting the decision in the future. He added, "I just think it could be something that Arteta maybe, with hindsight, wouldn't have done if he looks back." Willian now shares what he said to Mikel Arteta right before leaving Arsenal. Fulham winger Willian has now shared with The Athletic what he told Mikel Arteta right before leaving Arsenal. Willian joined Arsenal after his contract expired at Chelsea back in 2020, but the Brazilian did not enjoy the best spell in North London. After just one season at the club, the 34-year-old left by mutual consent and saved Arsenal roughly £20.5 million. The former Chelsea man secured a move to Corinthians, but is now back in the Premier League with Fulham. And Willian has now lifted the lid on his Arsenal exit and shared what he told Mikel Arteta just before he left. Speaking to The Athletic, Willian has praised his former boss for doing an excellent job in North London. "I think I am maybe the only player who has done something like this," Willian said. "Any other player in my situation would have stayed until the end of the contract and kept picking up the money. But I am not like this. Money is not the most important thing in the world. I have to feel good, to feel motivated, to go to training. I wasn't having that there, so I decided to leave. For most of the season, we were playing without fans because of COVID-19. I didn't see Arsenal fans. Maybe I needed to feel the buzz of the crowd, that it was something I missed. It was a difficult moment, not just for me, but for everyone in the world. To play without fans at a new club is not easy. On my last day there, I spoke with the manager Mikel Arteta. I thanked him a lot for what he had done for me, for bringing me to Arsenal. I just wished him all the best. He is a good manager, and I have a great respect for Arsenal. They are doing well, they have good players, they can achieve good things this season." Arsenal reportedly want to sign Manuel Locatelli 1 year after he rejected them. Arsenal have been linked with a move to sign Italy and Juventus midfielder Manuel Locatelli again a year after he rejected the opportunity to sign for the Gunners. Locatelli was a star in the Serie A for Sassuolo. He made a name for himself as one of the best midfielders in the country there, and that caught Arsenal's attention last year. However, the Italian chose to join Juventus instead. Throughout the European Championships last year, Arsenal were heavily linked with a move to sign Locatelli. Fabrizio Romano revealed that Arsenal felt he was the perfect player for them, and the Gunners even tabled a bid to sign him. Sassuolo chief Giovanni Carnevali revealed last year that he was ready to sell Locatelli to the highest bidder. Out of all the clubs interested, it was Arsenal who offered the most money, but Locatelli did not fancy a move to the Emirates. The Italian hearts was set on joining Juventus, and Sassuolo had no choice but let him move to Turin. Juve signed him on a 2-year loan deal with an obligation to make that move permanent for £32.4 million at the end of the season, £2.6 million less than what Arsenal offered last year. Reports revealed this week that Arsenal have emerged as a surprise destination for Locatelli. The Italian times at Juventus hasn't been great at all, and there is a good chance he will be allowed to leave Turin at the end of the season. The report claims that Arsenal, who have been interested in Locatelli for a long time, could suddenly return with an offer to sign the Italian midfielder next summer. The Gunners definitely need a new man in the middle of the park, but whether they will go back in for players who rejected them remains to be seen. Arsenal made contact with representatives of Jasper Landstrom. Arsenal have made contact with the representatives of Jasper Landstrom in the hope of signing the 22-year-old during the January transfer window, according to a report from Bild. The Gunners have made a brilliant start to the campaign and went into the international break top of the Premier League table. It certainly appears that they may well be the side who push Manchester City in the title race. Nevertheless, it seems that they are already planning to make moves in January. In fact, they have already got the ball rolling ahead of the winter window. According to Bild, they have been in contact with Eintracht Frankfurt attacking midfielder Landstrom. Landstrom has had a quiet start to the campaign, scoring just once in the Bundesliga so far, but his overall record for the Europa League champions is impressive, with 8 goals and 9 assists in 49 games. He can also play on either wing as well as through the middle, so he would have the kind of versatility Mikel Arteta clearly appreciates. He's also someone who works incredibly hard for his team. Few attacking midfielders in Europe perform better when it comes to the likes of interceptions, pressures, and blocks. And the Denmark international is no stranger to the Arsenal radar. Reports in 2021 claimed that the Gunners and West Ham were both looking at Landstrom before his move to the Bundesliga. Kevin Trapp previously suggested that he is an outstanding talent after working with the youngster. It's obviously going to be difficult for Arsenal to make a marquee signing during the January transfer window. Certainly, any marquee names are unlikely to be emerging as obtainable targets already at this stage of the season. Landstrom, however, is a work in progress right now, and he would fill the void Arsenal were not quite able to fill in the final stages of the summer, so it could be a really clever piece of business. Arsenal still want Real Madrid man, but the competition is getting serious. Arsenal pursued an interest in Marco Asensio in the last transfer window, and the Spaniard was one player several clubs wanted to add to their squad. Mikel Arteta eventually bolstered his attack with Gabriel Jesus and the little-known Marquinhos. Jesus has been a key member of the team, and he has developed well so far. Marquinhos has not featured many times for the Gunners, but he seems to be a real talent. The Gunners have made a stunningly impressive start to this term, and it can only get better. They know they must improve their squad to remain one of the best clubs in England until the end of the term. Mundo Deportivo reports an update on Asensio's future, and they insist Arsenal remains in the running to sign him on a pre-contract agreement in January. However, the report adds that Barcelona has also joined the race for his signature. I will be uploading daily Arsenal news, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.